the lack of division.
It would help if I put myself on my own show, right? This is SchezzWho. I'm watching the debate. I turned it to CNN about 5 minutes before. So I'm just going to sit here and try and live stream my reaction to what I'm hearing for the presidential debate tonight. I'm going to try and somewhat go in unbiased, even though I have very strong opinions on both Donald Trump and Joe Biden. So I'm going to see if I can get anything substantive out of this. And as this is a SchezzWho show, I would like to shout out the basics, like positive vibes, entertainment and consulting services. They do credit fixes, they do tax resolutions, they lend private money, they do debt consolidation. Check out that number, check out that email, contact SchezzWho Varner, who will help you on that matter.
To the men and women watching around the country.
I also want to shout out Ellen's Homestyle and Barbecue Express. As you see there, they have 4206 Portsmouth Boulevard location. There's also a location in Virginia Beach across from Regent University. Very, very tasty food. Make sure you go there next time you feel like you don't have an idea for dinner, but you want to do something good. That'll be over there at Miss Ellen's Homestyle and Barbecue Express. All right, so we're a few minutes out from the debate. It starts at 9. It'll be Donald Trump, President Biden, going into it. What are our thoughts? I'm going to see if I can bring on Miss Janine Lewis at some point when she has the ability to hop on. I don't see her camera at the moment. But we're going to speculate on what we're hearing going into advance. While we're listening, we're going to react in real time. And as you can see, that this is CNN.
He needs to really.
I chose that because they're actually doing it at CNN's headquarters, so it's probably going to be the best of the feeds.
And I'm moved by that argument. The comparative that people are making, though, and the nostalgia, as some have called it, for Trump, I think comes down to a simple thing for a lot of voters who aren't political junkies.
I can't imagine nostalgia for Trump.
How happy the country was before COVID. If we hadn't had COVID, that would have been fine. It's over now. And I don't like what Biden is doing.
COVID's not over.
Back to where I was right before COVID happened. I had money in my pocket. I could buy a house. I could buy a car. And going to the grocery store did not give me anxiety. And you know who the president was? It was Donald Trump. And I think there are a lot of voters who are just thinking, we had a momentary blip in this world. That's over, and we got to get back to where we were when we didn't have daily
momentary
anxiety.
over knowing
the United States of amnesia. If you're talking about we didn't have daily anxiety.
That was the whole argument about President was chaos.
This economic thing you're talking about is the challenge. It is a challenge.
They had this panel up during the actual debate.
And they're scared to look at the numbers going up and have them take stuff out the basket and take it back.
Hey, Janine.
Those things are.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hear you well. Hope you can hear me well. Hope you can hear the debate. Do you have it going up in your room?
I've been trying to figure out how best to do that. So I was going to watch one of my favorite live streamers do it, but everything's crashing. Rumble is crashing. You can't watch it anywhere but CNN. I don't want to give them the view, but maybe I will.
Regardless of who gets what view, make sure the view goes to SchezzWho.
They have 49,000 people watching their last 9 p.m. segment. They don't deserve the view. It just is like, I'll watch it on PBS.
I don't particularly mind as long as what we're watching is within like a second of the same thing. Because I wouldn't want to.
Oh, yeah, that's so true. Well, I don't have cable, so we can't. The delay between YouTube, CNN, and cable is always like, it's like.
Now, going into this debate, do you have any anticipations?
Oh, yeah, I think Joe Biden's going to do a total Mitch McConnell. I'm talking about just freeze it up. I think that they drugged him so hard that he's gonna freeze. That's what I think.
Now, assuming all of that was accurate, I don't necessarily think that heavy stimulants would make someone freeze up, as opposed to maybe.
No, I don't think they would, but I do think that they're going to heavily stimulate him and he's going to freeze. I don't think, I think
now, as much as people have said about his age and stuff like that, I, even being 37, I would take an energy drink or two going into debate because I want to be as sharp as possible.
Let me. I freeze, and then they tried to get him because he pooped on himself. Let me tell you, I think everybody was lying. You all poop on yourselves. I'm not getting into the age debate because I'm an old lady. Trump is an old man. People are vastly different in their age. Joe Biden's on his way out, and I don't think anybody should have to work like they did Dianne Feinstein till your eye falls out of your head. That we need to stop that all over America. When people are 80, we should just let them retire. If you love Joe Biden, he served this country for 51 years, and he shouldn't have to do anything else. Clearly, you're not in your complete faculties to do it. Gavin Newsom is an understudy, so I think that today's the day they could fake old Joe being so sick he can't do it no more, and that's how they'll run Gavin for president. But because you can't think he's going all the way. You believe this guy's going in November?
Here's the thing. The best race I could compare that to would be 68 when Lyndon Johnson decided to drop out in the height of the Vietnam War. But he was not that as old as Biden is, and I think that was earlier in the year that he cut out than June 27th of the year. I don't know for sure, but I'm thinking that that'd be way too late to be made.
It seems so late. That's why they have to do a Hail Mary and act like something happened to him. And if you could do it while everyone was watching, it'd be a good choice. You know, they got to cut Kamala out. Remember that. She's worthless to them, and they realize that. So they need to cut Kamala out of the picture. And that's not going to, they need a good way to do it. And the best way to do it was to make her his understudy for this debate. Why is your vice president not your understudy? Right? They're cutting Kamala out, and she knows the writing on the wall. It is what it is. They got to figure out how to get Gavin Newsom in the play. He just came off his tour all over the world in China, and clearly he's the presidential elect. They got to figure out a way to introduce him.
It seems like this would be a great year for him to do it if it wasn't for the fact Biden was already president. So if there's a horrendous type of situation, maybe that there's some credence to that. But right now, that's not personally what I believe is likely to happen. But I've seen too many weird things the past 5 years. So 10 years, actually. All right. Do you have a good audio going for
it's playing on the TV. Jake Tapper.
Yep, I see
Tapper. White, fantastic.
Hopefully everything's composed on their end. I know they have interesting rules for tonight's debate.
Oh yeah, it's all in Biden's favor. It doesn't matter. I know. You know what would be really fun is to watch Trump be rude, but you guys don't want to hear that, so you're cutting his mic, and that's fine.
Well, personally, I
like it when
hear it, but for the entertainment value,
yeah, I like
that
it
would
when
be
he's
something very intriguing.
Yeah, I want to hear him call some names and whatnot. So we're not going to get that. It's going to be a boring couple of hours. So I bought ice cream. I do have enough for everyone watching.
It's a lot of ice cream.
What, are people actually watching this? How can we tell?
Are you referring to CNN's version or?
No, I mean us. Are we just
right now, it says I got about 1 or 2 eyes at the current moment.
Okay, so people start watching. Remind me not to be inappropriate. I have my insurance license at 11. I don't need phone calls.
I've cursed on this before, so I'm not too worried about all that.
Now, please welcome the 46th president of the United States, Joe Biden.
It's a kind of a forced
slow. Look at him, like Muhammad Ali. Look at him, flying like a butterfly.
The 90s version of Muhammad Ali. He looks curmudgeonly as well.
Yep. Yeah.
I saw that look. He just looked at it.
Is their top concern the economy?
Mine is ahead of yours by more than 8 seconds.
By more than 8 seconds. Okay.
Since you took office, the price of essentials has increased. For example, a basket of groceries that cost $100 then now costs more than $120. And typical home prices have jumped more than 30%. What do you say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump?
I would say largely true. Too raspy.
Oh, it sounds like he's got a cold. Now, it's been at Camp David for days. That is from the Coke. Have you ever done any? You start getting the He's got the drip.
Yep.
Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible. And so what we had to do was try to put things back together again. That's exactly what
Like the economy is Humpty Dumpty.
15,000 new jobs.
This ice cream is delicious. I know you pumped a grocery store earlier. People who don't have any money have been exclusively shopping at Aldi
Working class people
and buying Aldi brand products.
We come from Scranton,
So if the
Pennsylvania.
economy is driving you down, go to Aldi where you can still afford ice cream at $2.
Price of things, the price of gas, the price of housing, the price of a whole range of things. That's why I'm working so hard.
It's hard to
make
listen
sure
to him.
I deal with those problems. And we're going to make sure that
He sounds quiet.
We're going to make sure we
I'm at
Sounds under the weather.
5
make
right
sure
now.
we
Yeah.
cap rents so corporate greed can't take over. The combination, there's luckily the corporate greed.
I need a closed caption. How can I
In
do
addition
that?
to that, there's
Definitely
situations
sounds a
where
bit
if we
rehearsed.
had to look at all that was done
Well, yeah,
with
you gotta
the
rehearse.
church,
They've been rehearsing for days. Sam has too. He was the Camp David. They changed his sleep schedule so that he would wake up like 2 hours before this.
Back then, we created a sense of a job. We make sure we had a situation where we brought down the price of
I'm
prescription.
so old. I don't know how to turn on
It's hard to imagine
YouTube. Oh, I got it. Okay.
Trump holding himself like this. This is a lot more composed than the last
That's
debate.
the only thing they want him to do. That's what he's been practicing for days, is keeping his mouth shut. And I can tell you, I got a hard time. Like, I know it's killing him.
Next year, in a situation, and we're going to make that available to everybody. All Americans. So we're working.
Now, granted, I've been talking,
around the kitchen
but
table.
I don't know what he's really said yet.
Thank you, President Trump.
I put closed captioning on it. It's
In
helping.
the history of our country, we have never done so well. Everybody was amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID, and when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in a Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished,
Stick out the year,
we did a
right?
great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars, and so many other things. Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never got the credit for, and we should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess. He created mandates. It was a disaster for our country. But other than
That's
that,
not accurate.
We have given them back a country where the stock market actually was higher than pre-COVID, and nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he
Yeah,
created
massive
were
correction.
bounce back jobs, the bounce back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job.
Looks like he nodded off.
Like he woke up.
Thank you, President Biden.
Well, look, the greatest economy in the world. I mean, he's the only one who thinks that, I think. I don't know anybody else who thinks the greatest economy in the world. And, the fact of the matter is
It's
that
his third call.
we find ourselves in a situation where
He's definitely under the weather, and it looks like somebody took his facelift and like they taped it behind his hair plug.
Here's a different person that hasn't any one term.
They really
He's
did
the
a
only
bud.
president other than Herbert Hoover who's had a well-scored job than he had when he began, since Herbert Hoover.
Granted, Hoover had a depression.
Oh, I don't think he should have mentioned Afghanistan.
When he was president, we were still killing people in
I'm a
Afghanistan.
couple seconds ahead of you.
Yeah, you're at
When
it.
he was president, we were still finding ourselves in a position where you had a notion that we were this safe country. Truth is, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have any, this decade, that doesn't any troops.
He went from this century to this decade.
President Trump.
Since I'm ahead of you, so here we go with Trump having to debate the moderators and not Biden. This is bullshit already.
10% tariff on all goods coming into the U.S. How will you ensure that that doesn't drive prices even higher?
It's not going to drive them higher. It's just going to cause countries that have been ripping us off for years, like China and many others, in all fairness to China. It's going to
In all fairness to China.
reduce our deficit tremendously.
Exactly what he said. Are you going to respond to him, or are you just going to ask me questions? Right. He's going to debate Jay Tapper, and that's fine too. We're here for that because that's crazy. And if he thinks that people don't see it, no audience, blah blah blah, like he said, Biden gets to take a nap for a few seconds here. It's unfair.
You can't do that. He also
You can
said-
tell Biden's sort of looking down slightly,
He looks like
and Trump is up, and I think is maintaining eye contact with Tapper. So.
Right.
A bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing, and they don't know what they were doing. It was the worst, probably the worst administration in history. It has never been. And as far as Afghanistan is concerned, I was really out of Afghanistan. We were getting out with dignity, with strength, with power.
But you didn't get out.
It was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country's life.
Over the last 8 years, under both
Yeah, he looked a little lost.
connection debt sold to the
Former President Trump made the signed into law or said to minor and clear 8.4%
new debt.
further. He said
That's why President
when
Biden
the U.S. faced $8 trillion deficit and record debt, why should Congress
It panned to him and he just looked shocked.
that they should
Yeah, they need to stop panning mid frame for Biden. It's not working.
$10 deficits and record debt. Why should top earners and corporations pay even less in taxes than they do now?
Because the tax cuts spurred the greatest economy that we've ever seen just prior to COVID. And even after COVID, they were so strong that we were able to get through COVID much better than just about any other country. But we spurred the taxes spurred. Now, when we cut the taxes, as an example, the corporate taxes.
And if you cut that corporate tax again to 21%, they are floating Trump giving us a flat tax. I know that's not going to happen. And I work for TurboTax, so I understand that Jackson Hewitt, we are lobbying against it. Obviously, nobody wants to abolish the IRS who works in taxes. It's an entire industry that employs half the country in some fashion. Everybody's involved, whether it's the public. So I don't think that that's going to happen, but they're floating a flat tax, and I'd be rich if we had that.
Unbelievable situation with all of the therapeutics and all of the things that we came up with.
Therapeutics.
We gave him something great. Remember, more people died under his administration, even though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were in the middle of it.
Did he say largely fixed it? Vaccines weren't even out yet.
Trump introduced the vaccine, which I wish he hadn't. Backtracked it, which I wish he had not.
I don't want a vaccine. I'm just saying that Trump is live trying to say that we had largely fixed it. It's not accurate.
And I will tell you, not only for that, but throughout the entire world, we're no longer respected.
Well, we haven't fixed cancer or the common cold either, and we haven't fixed AIDS. Nobody seems to be up in arms. It's like it's not that big of a deal. We haven't fixed the March of Dimes. Is still trying to fix premature childbirth. There are things are not fixed, and nothing is fixed. And so all of a sudden, we didn't create COVID either, just like we didn't create, polio. Maybe just didn't. So eventually, I mean, it's rolled into the genome. You'll have it every year like the flu. Kind of is what it is. They shouldn't.
It's become rather endemic.
Yeah, correct. So the pandemic is finished. There is no pandemic. It's over. And so now we just have COVID. But if you're hoping to get rid of it, work on the cancer and holler at me.
Number two, that $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example,
But you haven't fixed the tax system.
Billionaires in America. And what's happening?
You should have changed the subject. Should have started talking about how Hunter's a good boy or something. This is not it for him.
If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, and they'd raise $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person.
And then too, a lot of the things anymore that they do don't impact me. Like if you were to extended protections for people who have child care, or say that under a certain amount of money, these people get a refund or what have you. I don't make under $60,000 anymore, and I don't qualify for anything.
Thank you, President.
And I've never been on welfare. You know what I mean? I've never had that issue. I had my kids after I got married, and we don't have those problems. So a lot of the things that they are continually giving all these handouts to, I don't need a handout. I need lower taxes.
Single-handedly destroy Social Security. These millions and millions of people.
I wouldn't mind a handout every now and then.
I'm not houseless. I'm not homeless. I'm not interested, and I
I'm
don't care who I'm
currently at the point where I need it.
So he was right in the way he finished that sentence. And it's a shame. What's happened to our country in the last 4 years is not to be believed. Foreign countries,
Not to be believed, we experienced it.
they cannot believe that the United States of America, they no longer respect it. They don't like us. We give them everything they want. They think we're stupid. They think we're stupid.
I don't know why they did this. Even with the turning the mics off and all this debate is not going the way they wanted it to go for Biden. Maybe they just wanted us to know he could stand up for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know what they wanted it to be for Biden.
I don't know. This is like not it.
This morning, the court ruled on yet another abortion case, temporarily allowing them
This is the type of thing that should be a softball for Biden.
despite that state's restrictive ban. Former President Trump You take credit for the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, which returned the issue of abortion to all states. However, the federal government still plays a role in whether or not women have access to abortion pills. We understand about 2/3 of all abortions. As president, would you want abortion education?
Personally, it's a really the work and this is like and this whole survey scheme, 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states, without exception. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, everybody wanted it back. Religious leaders. And what I did, and we
I gotta give it. He's been very composed with his answers.
Yeah, and I'm tired of people asking about abortion. What are we going to do? The birth rates are down. We're filling the country with illegals to make up for it. Doesn't make any sense. We need to bring back, I don't know, I think no-fault divorce is a lot of it, and feminism is the rest of it. But people need to start getting married and having kids. And they need to incentivize us to do
You just
that.
brought up no-fault divorce.
Yeah, it's a huge issue. Feminism is killing this country, as is no-fault divorce. As is Instagram, Facebook, you name it. I got a soapbox for you. But people need to start getting married and having kids again.
The states control it. That's the vote of the people.
And they need to make it possible for us to do it without feeling like if you get married and have kids, you're never going to have anything.
I think it's important to believe in the exceptions. Some people you have to follow your heart. Some people don't believe in that. But I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. I think it's very important.
The type of answer that if a Republican was to get points on it, it would be sort of like that.
Yeah, be fair. Most people in the country, I used to march for abortion, but then it turned out I don't agree with it and I never had one. I don't want one. I never got pregnant before getting married. It's totally possible. It's not 1800, it is 2020. People are, doing a bunch. Since I've been grown, I've known men say, "Oh, well, I've had 5 abortions. You haven't had any. You've abandoned 5 women." That sounds crazy.
I don't know why he's doing this a lot.
Thank you, President Biden.
At least he's not gripping. I'm waiting for him to grip something like he does.
Support Roe. And that's this idea that they're all against it is just ridiculous. And this is the guy who says the state should be able to have it. We're going to say we're in 6 weeks. You don't even know if you're pregnant or not, but you cannot see a doctor.
Must be referring to Georgia.
Here we go. I got to be in slavery. Every time Joe Biden said something, you got to have civil rights and you got to have Jim Crow. There's nobody enslaving me. I'm tired of him saying that.
Let each state have a different rule. Look, there's so many young women who have been, including the young woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant coming in. We talked about that. Here's the deal. There's a lot of more young women being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses. It's just ridiculous.
Sort of rambled a bit there.
We have a border that's the most dangerous place anywhere in the world. Consider the most dangerous place anywhere in the world. And they opened it up, and these killers are coming in for
No,
and they are raping and killing.
Well, they're going to cut these clips. I can see that later and say Trump said all migrants are rapists and killers. But it turns out that a fair amount of migrants who are rapists and killers have been let into the country. It's very unfortunate for the people's families of
They're voting, and it's bringing it back to the vote of the people, which is what everybody wanted, including the founders. If they
One of the things you got to remember when doing a debate is when you know you're not being looked at, but there's still cameras to
The camera is on your face. Yeah.
keep your mouth shut.
Everybody wanted it brought back, and many presidents had voted to get it back. I was the one to do it. And again, this gives up the vote of the people, and that's where they wanted it. Every legal scholar.
That's not where they wanted it. No.
And another topic of abortion, President Biden, 7 states. This is the same topic. 7 states have no legal restrictions on how far into a pregnancy a woman can obtain an abortion. Do you support any legal limits on how late a woman should be able to terminate a
It's a
pregnancy?
good way to ask that. Yeah.
The way The 3 trimesters.
I think you said semester as opposed to trimester.
He's trying.
I
He's
don't think
remembering
he
what they
gets
said. He's got notes. He's intently focusing, trying to peel back. He is doing better than I thought he was going to do. He is standing there the whole time.
Who, Biden is?
Yeah, I'm highly. The
Well,
bar
I
was
think
so
you
low.
probably expected there might be a version of a train wreck or something like that.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for one because the bar was so low. Like you said, just a few crazy faces and looking down and a couple of nodding off is not gonna. I thought it was gonna be worse than that.
He can take the life of the baby.
Look at his face.
And even afterwards.
He's remembering the stuff because they told him stuff in the green room and for like days, and he's the president. And he's remembering the stuff so hard. He's doing such a.
He's willing to, as we
He's staying
say,
awake. Remember, Joe, they told you keep your head up.
Nobody wants that to happen. Democrat or Republican, nobody wants it to happen.
That is simply not true.
You can't come back and lie. They've asked him about 9 months many times. You can't come up here now and say you're not for late-term abortion. It makes me think you think your voters are idiots and they didn't hear you last time.
I mean, I don't think he should be afraid to give an
No,
answer.
if you believe, then late-term abortion, I say everything I believe in, and most of it is highly offensive. He should just say whatever he believes. You think your voters are stupid. You've said it many times.
Not the Republicans.
For 51 years, that was wrong. 51 years.
This is coming off a little bit more back and forth than I thought that they were going to put rules to stop.
Because it's boring and they want to pick it up.
Yeah.
They need to try to bait Trump into saying something or arguing, and they can do that if they make it seem like there's a little free flow.
And they pass a universal ban.
I think Trump's remembering the stuff too. They just told him, like you said, shut up and act nice. Wait your turn. Don't be combative with the moderators. Don't use any nicknames.
You saw they cut his mic right as he was getting ready to say something. And hey, props for doing what they said they were going to do, I guess.
Cities such as New York and Chicago, and in some cases causing real safety and security concerns. Given that, why should voters trust you?
That happening.
We worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement that not only changed all of that, but made sure that we had a situation where you had a circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of border police going out. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. Significantly, by the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position. In addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation where when he was president, he was separating babies from their mother, putting them in cages.
I don't believe that anybody thinks
want to point out that Biden would like to make the point that Trump separated families and babies and stuff.
They're not families.
Biden,
24-year-old men and 9-year-old girls ain't families.
I think you just try to make it seem like every single person across the border fit that explicit description when they're not. They did have the pictures of families that were split, but Biden is where I want to hit at here because he tried to make it seem like he was better. And he
Well,
is
there were 60% single men, and I don't think anybody thinks they're families. Those kids are being trafficked. We are complicit.
I don't think he knows what he said either.
The
complicit.
women are being trafficked. We're complicit. Families aren't moving here for a better life. It's a lie. We're complicit in the trafficking of many women and children from other countries.
You're going to have to take that up with them.
Yeah, and I mean that's fine. I think they're into it. I think that's what they like to do, and that's what they're doing. These women are hooking all up and down. I'm from New York. They're all over the place.
Right, and their
They're
life is
publicly hooking it in the street. We bought them in here for a number of reasons. Because people like their car fixed, and they like a street taco now and again, and they like prostitutes. And we need people to do the work. And
Ed
have to take
is coming off as particularly anti-immigrant.
They bought them in here for a reason.
And I personally am not anti-immigrant.
I'm not anti-immigrant. Most of this country.
You came off.
I'm anti-unchecked, unvetted immigration for the entire rest of the world, and I'm anti-bringing anybody in here who will not assimilate.
Including the people that are coming out.
And
We
in
have
order to do that, there has to be a long process.
Side note here, we have like 10 plus different cultures here in the United States. Assimilation is itself a myth because we have so many different cultures.
American culture needs to be the first one. We let you bring your own religion.
American culture, by definition, is multicultural.
Yes, multicultural, not your country first. It has to be America first. Everyone has to be America first, or just go live someplace else. That includes Europe.
Not a difference.
Yeah, I think we need to get rid of dual citizenship too. gone for everyone. You cannot be loyal to two places. You can't be a patriot and have dual citizenship. Go back to England or wherever you came from, and I think that's fine. We need to end that.
I don't know why England was the first thought.
All of them. Canada, Canada. A lot of people have dual citizenship of Mexico and Canada too. Cut. I would cut all of that.
The people we killed are al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the two greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world. And it had a huge impact on everything, not just border.
He keeps his mouth open the whole time. He looks
Because I think he's remembering. That's what, like, when you ask little kids a question, they answer it like that. Like they're thinking real hard for these things.
You know, 4 years ago they had that "come on, man" moment, or "would you just shut up" type thing, and I don't know if he could do that tonight.
I like it when he does that. My favorite clip is the one where first of all, the one where he said that you had to have an Indian accent to work at 7-Eleven. That's an old one. That's a funny one. But when he was challenging a man, you would, come on, man, you want to do some push-ups? But when he pushed that guy in the chest, I like when he starts attacking people.
Over the last few days. One of them, we just spoke to the mother, and
his face is just so memeable.
It is. He just kind of just looks like, that's what I'm saying. He looks a little older. My foster mother's 83. She works. She drives. You know, she works full time and she still drives. Everyone is different. My aunt is and she's retained and hasn't worked in years, and they're different. Everyone is different. Everyone's elderly is very different, and everyone's not going to have it. Everyone prays for it to know your faculties, know where you are, and all of that, and be able to take care of yourself. But some people are out in their 60s, some out in their 70s. Some people don't get old. And most people who do get old, like 30 or 40% of people above the age of 75 wear a diaper. And not because it's cool and stylish.
By far the highest, and now it's down in less than half. Because he's done all these great things that we did. And I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy. But he has killed so many people in our
I personally hope to look old enough, like I have dementia, but don't actually have it, so I can get away with a lot of things.
People at the border are being killed.
Every single one. For example, veterans are a hell of a lot better off since they passed away. 1 million of them.
We're burning people as
He's got a bit, like he's pointed at him.
Whether it was Agent Orange or burn pits, they're all being covered now. And he opposes, the group opposed that. We're also in a situation where there are great restrictions.
Keep telling lies.
My son spent a year in Iraq. But even my next one, they burned. It's been back now.
The World War, because when he says things like, I was in France on D-Day and I went to the World War Cemetery, they're going to say you weren't.
Nice.
Jake Tapper may not say it to your face, but everybody knows.
World War II cemetery.
And then people have told him to stop saying these things. You didn't drive an 18-wheel truck. The NAACP said he couldn't have had a sit-in a movie theater because they weren't allowed in the movie theater. So how did he get in? So, like, some of the things clearly have been fact-checked, and he just won't stop saying
This is a third-rate magazine, the Stanley, like many of these magazines. He made that up.
Third-rate magazine.
Commercials. We had 19 people that said it and said, and think of this. Who would say, I'm in a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's thinking and he brought it up. Nobody was made up by him, just like Russia was made up, just like the 51 intelligence names are made up, just like the thing with the 68 conference was all 51 intelligence. Just like Russia was
Yeah, here you are at least 10 seconds.
intelligence that came from China. Just like the
I can't unsee his face now that you said that. Like, it's just slightly open.
Was Russian disinformation? It wasn't. That came from his son Hunter. It wasn't Russian disinformation.
Hunter reference.
He made up the suckers and losers. He should apologize to me right now.
Four-star General Sanders.
Can I just say, because I'm looking at you and I'm looking at them, and just white men just don't have any lips. And I'm trying to understand how you grip some. Look at Trump's lips.
Yeah, it's like
he's got the line.
Taking his out.
There's none left. You got a lot more than the line. Trump just got a line. I'm going to walk around like that tomorrow all day.
But
When
fully,
White History Month is in July. I'm gonna walk around all month in July like that.
Ever before in history.
I think that's how we used to be mocked about our dancing. You know, the white man's overbite.
Oh, that's what I'm doing. Dance for all of July, like Elaine from Seinfeld. It's just all over.
Elaine, the American Institution.
Keeps the Ukrainian territory it has already claimed, and Ukraine abandons its bid to join NATO. Are Putin's terms acceptable?
They should have just asked controversial questions the whole night because this is not it.
Your soldiers can't stand this guy.
Ukraine is at least topically controversial.
I took Miss Susan from church to see the Ukrainian ballet at Chrysler Hall in January. I can assure you they're not having a war. Okay. They're not in fact, they didn't even, because if we were having a war and all the children were dead, I think before the ballet, I would have had a moment of silence or something. And it was some of the greatest ballet I've ever seen in my life. I think the Ukraine is doing just fine. In fact, we spent like a third of our GDP to them, so I'm sure the streets are paved in gold.
Double those numbers, maybe triple those numbers. He did nothing to stop.
I thought you all just cared about Israel, not Israel. Don't you love Palestine? Don't you?
Afghanistan. It was such a horrible.
That's the new.
Moment.
That's the new black square on Instagram is the Palestinian flag.
Confidence that he should have fired those generals, like I fired the one that you mentioned, and so he's got no love lost. But he should have fired those generals. No generals got fired for the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan. When billions of dollars of 13 American soldiers and 38 soldiers behind. He said, never been
He's looking down again.
The difference is
he said he's got a pen and he's writing.
Yeah, it should be noting.
Yeah, he's like writing some notes. Or maybe he's pretending to write. I'd like him to pan to that paper at the end so we can see. Maybe like a puppy or a dog. He's writing something.
They had no money for a mosque. They had no money for anything. No money for terror. That's why you had no terror at all. During my
malarkey. I love when he says that.
No,
My favorite joke word. Malarkey.
President Biden?
I've never heard so much malarkey in my whole life. First, Iran attacked American troops.
And what do you call that lady a dog-faced pony soldier?
Damage for a number of these troops, and he did nothing about it. Recently, not when he was president, maybe they attacked. He said they're just having headaches. That's all it is. He didn't do a thing when the attack took place, number one. Number two, we got over 100,000 Americans and others out of Afghanistan during that event. Number three, we found ourselves in a situation where if you take a look at what Trump did in Ukraine, this guy told Trump, do whatever you want and do whatever you want. And that's exactly what Trump did to Putin, encourage him, do whatever you want. And he went in. Listen to what he said when he went in. He was going to take Kyiv in 5 days, remember? Because it's part of the old Soviet Union. That's what he wanted to reestablish. Kyiv. And he get it done. And they've lost thousands and thousands, 500,000 troops.
President Trump, for 1 minute, I just want to go back to my original question, which is
It's acceptable to me if Putin takes the whole of wherever the hell he lives. Crimea, Poland, all those people who write in a language I can't read and eat mostly potatoes, just get the whole thing. It all belongs to the USSR. I don't live there.
He's given $200 billion. That's
as long as I don't have to pay any taxes for whatever the decision is, I think it's fine.
Zelensky comes to this country, he walks away with $60 billion. He's the greatest salesman ever. And I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking anything. I'm only saying the money that we're spending on this war, and we shouldn't be spending.
Yeah, we're spending a lot of money on it.
I don't have
way too much. I don't want to spend any money on anything. Far, far away lands, far away wars. We got to cancel all that. I don't care what those people do over there. I don't care what he does to them. I do not care. Not the women, the children, the old people, whatever he wants to do with his people. Because you know what? Joe Biden is doing whatever he wants to do with me. And Putin is not going to save me. No one is going to parachute into my yard and say Janine's taxes are so high and her children are so poor and she can't afford to send them to college, so Putin's coming to save me. So I can't be saving a bunch of Ukrainians. No one cares what happens to me. Joe Biden does whatever he wants to me, and I'm fairly sure if he sent a tank to roll over my house tomorrow, there wouldn't be an international incident. But no one else is coming here to save me. We just can't keep saving everyone.
That is itself its own version of a foreign policy that I think is probably reputable.
If in fact he does what he says and walks away, by the way, all that money we give Ukraine, what did we make here in the United States giving the weapons, not the money at this point.
The eyes also look beady.
Israel's response until now Israel.
So when it comes to Israel,
This is a good question. The Democrats have lost the Jewish vote, so say something crazy.
Humanitarian crisis in Gaza. President Biden, you put forward a proposal to resolve this conflict. So far, Hamas has not released.
I would not say that he's put forth a proposal to stop it if he's helped arm it and fund it.
So what additional leverage do you use to get Hamas and Israel to end the war? You have seen it.
Number one, everyone from the United Nations Security Council straight through the G7, the Israelis and Netanyahu himself have endorsed the plan to go forward. It's just 3 stages to it. First stage is to the hostages or a ceasefire. Second stage is a ceasefire with additional conditions. The third phase is no, the end of the war. No one wants the war to continue as Hamas. Number one. We don't want to stay there. We're still pushing hard to get them to accept.
A little too heavy support of Israel.
The only thing I provided Israel was 2,000-pound bombs. They don't work very well in populated areas. It's a lot of innocent people. We provide Israel with all the weapons.
Yeah, they work if that's your intent.
By the way, I'm the guy that organized the world against Iran when they had a full-blown.
His plan is extremely weak to the people who supposedly want to support him. And I did not need him to hear him. I didn't need to hear him say the only thing he denied Israel was 2,000 bombs. You are selling me out to Israel right now. You need to be denying them. Stop answering the phone. I heard Benjamin Netanyahu say, Benjamin Netanyahu said he's a grown man and he can make the decisions and he knows what's best for Israel and he intends to full steam ahead regardless of what Joe Biden has to say. So that's perfectly fine. If you continue to ask me for money, but you keep getting evicted every month, and I try to give you some information, and you tell me you don't need my advice, you don't need my money either, right? Why do they still need our money if Benjamin Netanyahu's got it under control? He's got it. So he's got it under control, so let him control it and stop sending money.
Well, I think that's one of the few things we might agree about tonight.
Stop saying, yeah, exactly. What do you mean we don't have any policy over there? I have all to say. We are funding the Iron Dome. I will tell you what we can do. Or you can fund yourself. Exactly it.
The most incredible job I've ever seen. They wouldn't have any, they were going out of business. We were spending almost 100% of the money was paid by us. We didn't have that. We got these people to put up the money. For over $100 billion more spent, and it has a bigger impact on them because of location, because we had an ocean in between.
You guys want to do it, pick up like a Palestinian, but they don't like he's a very bad
it's a hard line to ride, and Biden's not doing a good job with that. He never has.
Because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
He's a very bad Palestinian.
This is a guy who wants to be like NATO.
Yeah, you just say it when we get out of NATO.
Our strength lies in our alliances as well. And maybe a big ocean. Are we able to avoid a war in Europe or make a war in Europe? What happens if, in fact, we have Putin continue to go into NATO? There's an Article 5 agreement. Attack on one, attack on all. We want to start the nuclear war he keeps talking about. Go ahead. Let's Putin go in and control Ukraine. And then
I don't think Putin wants to use nuclear weapons.
He has no idea what the hell he's talking about. And by the way, I got 50 other nations around the world to support Ukraine, including Japan,
South Korea.
Okay.
It's in the PlayStation.
And we're beholden to China, who supports the opposite side. These people, it's just like, it just, what the hell is Japan going to do for us?
President Trump, just to follow up, would you support the creation of an independent Palestinian state in order to achieve peace in the region?
I would.
But before we do that, the problem we have is that we spend all the money. So we kill us and
Speaking of Japan, do you know that I saw the other day that there's such a thing as female sumo wrestling?
They're about the same size economically.
My life would be very different if I had done that.
If you knew that
A very different life.
They don't want anything.
make it seem like you would want to do around the two.
I feel like I could still do it. I feel like I'm right there with it. I looked it up. There's contests. I'm a sponsor.
You ever play any flag football? You ever play any flag football?
No, I stay away from football. My kids play flag football.
The offensive and defensive line, that's basically sumo wrestling right there. So.
I don't want there to be, I just want to do all of that without the ball. We are paying for everybody's bills. Amen, we are. And I'm tired of that.
Now we're in the same position. We're paying everybody else. It's not the issue of democracy. A former president.
The issue of democracy?
No, this is a good one. They've been waiting all night to ask about this bullshit right here. He's not going to give a real answer, so let's hear the hand answer.
As president, you swore an oath to quote, preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again? Well, I don't think anybody believes that. Let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few.
On January 6th, we had a great border. What is that?
Economy. It was all great on January 6th. He's 100% on January 6th. This was a great country, okay? And we've let it all slip away. It was a great answer. It was the best answer ever.
What happened to the United States reputation under this man's leadership is horrible, including weaponization, which I'm sure at some point we'll be talking about. Where he goes up to because he can't be unfair.
Nope, can't beat him fair and square.
The question was, what do you say to those voters who believe that you violated the constitutional oath through your actions and actions on January 2021, and what we will do it again? Well, did we say that to anybody? We said peacefully and patriotically. And Nancy Pelosi, that you just watched the news 2 days ago, don't take to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker,
Filmmaker.
I'm saying, responsibility, I was responsible for this. I wanted to 2,000 soldiers and National Guard. You put them out in the mayor. By the way, the mayor. Everybody was saying that the mayor of DC. I could see, nothing was everybody was saying that January 6th, and she said, the same day, she said, I take full responsibility. And it was the same day.
At least now he's not confusing her with Nikki Haley.
That was the worst presidential campaign I've ever seen. That was a really bad one. She is less likable than Hillary Clinton. She needed a stylist. The whole thing was bad.
Very hard to be less likable.
Was out here looking crazy.
His vice president and a number of his colleagues and Republicans had as well to do something. Call for stop. Instead, he talked
that Ron DeSantis was wearing high heels. We didn't put on a strong showing this year. I can admit to that. And I think that it's entirely possible that Doug Burgum or Tim Scott is going to be vice president, which is the worst thing that's ever happened ever.
Yeah, I've heard Burgum's pretty high up there, even though he
TrumpBurgum.com is a website.
Charisma of my earpiece right here.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, you can go to TrumpBurgum.com right now, and there's no Trump Scott, there's no Trump Ramaswamy. Trump Burgum is up and it's running, so I think that we already know where the land lies, and I guess he just had to do something to satisfy the deep state because it's certainly not the people's pick.
He satisfied the deep state.
Yeah, he does. You got to make a deal. You think he picked Mike Pence? Do you believe
You
that
think
after
Mike
he
Pence
said
is
he was a
going to be
racist and a misogynist and an abuser, that he picked Kamala Harris? Would you pick Kamala Harris? Do you think Kamala's parents would have picked her?
He's
No.
too cop friendly for me.
You have to compromise. You have to take a pick that they gave you. And I don't know who they is. It's whoever, you know. You see Don't Be a Menace? It's the guy that follows you around with the black gloves on. The man picked him. The man picked up Burkham. You know, if you look through history, you'll see this. Like Bill Clinton.
Because history loves to pick North Dakota governors.
Come on. Nobody picked North Dakota. Come on. Okay.
Fight really
Malarkey.
hard for those 3 electoral votes.
These people are not. If you look through the history of the presidency, these people are polar opposites, and it's not someone that they would have picked. It's clearly someone that was given to them. I think that's most of the time.
The only person in this state is a convicted felon is now I'm looking at right now.
Oh, took a while. And it's a convicted felon.
He's telling you simply not true. Fact is that there was no effort on his part to stop what was going on up in Capitol Hill. And all of them, every one of them was convicted until to be convicted. The idea that they didn't kill somebody, just went in and broke down doors, broke the window, occupied offices.
You calling all the people who support January 6th not patriots is not how you get the votes, Joe. It's not a unifying speech, Joe.
When I asked him the first 2 debates we had, the debate.
Well, I'm not the biggest fan of the Republican Party of Virginia. I will admit that, like I said, it is very memeable. Joe Biden's
Oh,
face
they're memeing it. I haven't looked at X. I haven't looked
is
at
the
the X.
face of a failed presidency.
Are they frying him?
After he heard convicted you of 34 felonies last month, you said if reelected.
Caption this. Live of TikTok. Caption this. What are the captions?
Members of the select committee on January 6th going to jail. Your main political tonight.
Oh. Yeah, you gotta stop making those faces. Twitter is undefeated.
No, he's saying making it successful again.
But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon.
True.
At a very high level. His son is convicted. He's going to be convicted probably.
They said he's fried. Yeah, that's probably some of the drugs.
The statute of limitations lapse on the most important thing. But he could be a convicted felon receiving the next level of office. Bill could be a convicted felon with all of the things that he's done. He's done horrible things. All of the death causes for the border, telling the Ukrainian people that we're going to want $1 billion to be against the prosecutors.
I didn't know. We have a system.
That's why you impeach stuff.
Can I watch this now?
I did nothing wrong.
I did nothing wrong. Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, I'm coming right to you, sir.
Every time I turn on the Twitter stream, it goes off.
The idea that I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking
Oh,
about.
I paused mine, and now I'm only 2 seconds off from yours. I'm gonna pause it.
Hey, there we go. We're almost on par.
Right to seek retribution against any American just because your president is wrong. It's simply wrong. No president's ever spoken like that before. No president in our history has spoken like that before. Number 3, the crimes that you are still charged with. Now think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe civil penalties?
Yeah, quite a lot of money.
We're doing a whole range of things, from having sex in a porn star, or the night.
He's getting very personal.
I didn't have sex with a porn star, number 1.
No, he's even denying. Okay.
You take showers with your granddaughter. You take showers with your kids. Your son smoked crack and hot guns in the garbage can, bro. Don't get, see the personal attacks. They don't want Trump to do that because I would have lost it on you.
Oh, but he has plenty of things to be personal about.
My wife is a porn star. She doesn't change my diaper. How about that? Like, I don't know what I would have lost it.
and he has no idea what these cases are. But when they found out about these cases, you know what they did? My phone numbers went up way up. You know that because you're recording it. And we took in more money in the last 2 weeks than we've ever taken in the history of any campaign. I mean, any campaign has ever taken. Hundreds of money in the last 2 weeks than we've ever taken in the history.
They told him not to. They told him no matter what he says, don't insult him. That's because come on. Because is your son gonna pay the back taxes? Is nobody going to jail for that? Like, come on. Now, this is when I would have started calling you the big guy and asking why everybody's disappearing. Where's Tony Pavlovsky? I'm not trying.
We'll be voting against American democracy.
Mm-hmm.
The odd question.
Yeah. More they know about what he's done.
Lager Republican.
You got a lot of cases around the
I wouldn't say that they're necessarily voting against democracy. They just really, really like Trump.
And so the fact that he never thinks that the president said that I'm going to stop distribution. Never heard the president say that he thought he had some good ideas. What got me involved around the first place, that's my son started in Iraq because of Iraq. I said I wouldn't run it. And so I saw it happen in Charlottesville, Virginia. People coming out of the woods carrying sausages, how torture.
Charlottesville was.
His son did not die in Iraq. Why do we keep saying that?
Charlottesville was 17. Didn't he declare in 19?
They spoke to mother. And they asked him, they said, what do you think of those people? The people who, the ones that want to try to stop it, and the ones he said, I think it's fine people who vote. What American country would ever say Nazis coming out of fields carrying torches, seeing the CNN submitted file, carrying sausages with fine people? This is the guy that says it was not a good thing.
Nazis coming out of the field carrying torches. That's what happened in Charlottesville. Nazis coming out of the field carry with the full right. I'm talking, he's a demand. Like he could just say whatever he wants to say. Where is Jake Tapper to put them? Come on now. Nazis coming out of the field carrying torches.
We're trying to justify his presidency. Without question, the worst president in the history of our country. We shouldn't be having a debate about it. There's nothing to debate.
That's a better one.
You'll see it. We bumped all over.
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to make me a picture of that later and put it in my computer background. I want Nazis coming out of the field carrying torches, and I'm gonna put Biden 2024 at the bottom of it.
The bomb. It happened. All you have to do is listen to what we said at the time. And the idea that
Like you're sounding a little angrier.
the reason he's not worried about like this guy to be elected. He thought they would be people coming out of that forest.
Coming out of the forest makes it sound like there's Vikings.
I can't imagine.
I didn't arrive in Charlottesville in a car.
They came out carrying the torches.
You saw people breaking windows. You saw people occupying it. There's no vice president. Look, there's a reason why. One of the 44 cops cabin officers refused to enforce this. The vice president has enforced it. Why? Why? They know him well. They serve him. They are not endorsing him.
Thank you, President Biden. We're going to be right back with more from the CNN.
Oh, look at that. We have a commercial.
Oh, I haven't seen one yet. Okay, here it is.
He's looking quite old.
You look horrible.
Yeah.
And Trump is a vicious fucking liar.
I knew that going in.
He's disrespectful.
Taking a commercial break. I'll be right back.
Now you do understand we go ahead and access the Google, right? Yo, this nigga is so bad. He's just such a bad liar. Like, you can't lie. When you were in whatever realm you were in, that's fine. But when you start lying about shit that's fucking public knowledge, like nigga, can you stop fucking lying on shit we gonna be able to get Google information on this break? Like you tripping. You tripping. America is losing tonight. This is where the immigrants that they can't say that terrorists come in and take over. Because this is what happens. Because this is not a democracy. This is disrespectful.
It's just a debate.
No, this is a clown car of our options for leaders. Like they say about Venezuela and Guatemala and other shit. This one is a degenerate fucking liar poor. I never slept with. Bitch, yes the fuck you did. You slept with the fucking poor star. You had 34 pounds thing, you slept the fuck.
Yeah, we know.
I never, yes the fuck you did.
I'm aware he's lying.
Yes the fuck you did. And the other one is a degenerate fucking lying ass old man who we need to put in there one day. Like, woo! They paid somebody. They paid him at the. They changed him. He is horrible. Horrible.
It's like he's playing on half speed.
Horrible.
Live smarter, stronger, healthier with the Aura Ring. It's time for one of our biggest sales of the year, the 4th of July sale at Robert's Furniture and Mattress, where you can get the furniture you want now, featuring free financing till 2026, only at Robert's Furniture and Mattress, and favor it later. Thanks for bringing them over.
Thanks for wearing them out. Before this happened,
Just for the sake of knowledge, looked up on Wikipedia. It was April 25th, 2019 that Biden announced that he was running for the 2020 election. And Charlottesville was
2,000 miles of power.
America is losing worldwide.
Even when they're
August 12th, 2017.
Right, time for one of our biggest sales of the year, the 4th of July sale at Robert's Furniture and Mattress, where you can get the furniture you want now, featuring free financing till 2026, only at Robert's Furniture and Mattress, and favor it later.
And now the debate thing.
CNN presidential debate live from Georgia. Let's talk about persistent challenges you both faced in your first terms, and you certainly face again in the second term. President Biden, while Black unemployment dropped to a record low under your presidency, Black families still earn far less than white families. Black mothers are still 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes.
That should be its own
And Black
question.
Americans are in prison at 5 times the rate of white Americans.
And that should be a separate
What do you
question.
say to Black voters who are disappointed that you haven't made more progress?
I acknowledge you made a lot of progress, number one. The fact of the matter is, the more small Black businesses have the
What's the progress?
Number two, the wages of Black.
I'm curious about why this white woman thinks I need a white man to save me.
Yeah.
However, so there's no personal responsibility. What can Joe do to save us? That's the question. And when Joe dies, how will we be saved then? What then?
This is probably one of his weaker points on his left flank.
So what we need is another old white man in office to save us. That's exactly what's needed.
As I look closely at the old white man 2024 that you have beneath your name.
Has never suggested that I require him to save me from anything. It's totally insane how I am from the South Bronx. I don't have parents. The state of New York raised me. I've been through some bad times. And you know what I had? Public school education. That's what they get. We didn't even have books until Clinton got in office. We had no physical textbooks. Hey, I was about 10 or 11 before I had a textbook. You can make it. Okay? Everyone's free. Been working since I was 14. I suggest other people start working. It helps.
You want people to start working at 14?
I want people to start working at all. Yes, and my 14-year-old cannot find a job, so he's going to my in-laws for the summer. But it's very sad for us because he has a resume, and we definitely tried. Virginia needs to loosen up the regulations. Child labor.
I do not want Virginia to copy an Iowa's rank, so loosening up child labor laws.
Positive. He could go down there to Smithfield and get 40 hours all summer, go and work in the slaughterhouse. That's what I'm talking about.
That idea is full of malarkey.
If they paid the bills for 10 years and they're student debt, all of
He
that.
wants black families to take out student loans,
That's
which is going to be the
another.
death.
That's another
The
big
death of
minus
the
on Biden's part is the failure to get student loans greatly canceled.
student loans, and then wants people to take them out so they can owe 500,000. How about instead of canceling student loans, you cancel the interest on the student loans and you just let them pay what they owe? How about you don't charge them compound?
You look at the cost of food where it's doubled, tripled, and quadrupled. They can't live. They're not living anymore.
Do you have a college degree?
I gave them.
Are you asking Trump?
I'm asking you.
Oh, I got two.
What is your household income? Count both of you. I don't care if she has one or not.
Household income, not sure.
Yeah, but like IRS style, like 30 to 60, 60 to 80, 80 to 200.
It's in the midst of shifting jobs at the moment, so that's going to change.
I don't think it helps. I can't imagine who would benefit.
Are you referring to the student loan cancellation?
I'm referring to being in crushing debt for a job that probably pays, as I keep telling my children, 50 to 90,000 is what they can expect to make out of high school, and it's what they can expect to make out of college. So they're not going to college because I didn't go to college and we don't have an income problem.
Now that I won't necessarily debate on because I don't know what the degree says help me on.
That's what I just want to know what it helps, because everybody that I work with routinely they have them. We do the same thing. When I was deputy treasurer for the city of Chesapeake, a guy with a bachelor's degree.
Thing. Like I needed to do it for the family, and it was perceived as something that was definitely going to help my prospects over time.
Oh, that's what they told us. That's what they kept telling everyone. That in order to do anything, you had to have one. One of my best friends went to school. I remember it was sad because I lived in a group home and I couldn't go. But her parents sent her to school and they paid for everything and whatever. And to this day, she works at a Target. She keeps telling me she can't have a baby because she doesn't have enough money to have a baby. And I've been trying to figure out why she's at Target with the degree.
2023 was
she's got benefits and whatever.
History and communities across the country are confronting the
Hey, a climate change question.
extreme heat,
Finally.
intensifying wildfires, stronger hurricanes, and rising sea levels. Former President Trump.
Tell them it's bullshit and they're making it up. Please tell them Trump.
It is, but will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
Let me just go back to what you said about the police. Most of the police are there. Almost every police group in the nation from every state is supporting Donald J. Trump. Almost
that I would
police
believe.
group. And what he's done to the black population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't, in the 1990s, we can't forget that. Super predators was his name. And he told them,
well, I thought it was Clinton's name, but same bill.
Now they see it happening. But when they see what I did for criminal justice reform and for the historically black colleges and universities, where I funded them and got them all funded, and the opportunity zones with Tim, as you know, Tim Scott was incredible. He did a great job. Great senator from South Carolina.
Well, now he's dropping Scott's name, so that maybe.
Yeah, well, there's no point in drinking. Tim Scott is Ben Crump. Can you imagine? That's the absolute worst. If you're going to pick a black person, you got to pick a real one, and neither one of them are it. Byron Donalds is ghetto, and he's not going to make it. Vivek would have been the pick. That was the people's pick, is Vivek Ramaswamy. But that's not going to happen. And I could tell you why. It's because people aren't going to do a bunch of Ramaswamy. This is a mostly, I don't hate to say that, right? Because you don't want to say it's a racist country.
Too many Ann Coulter types out there who would say, "Oh, I like you."
That's right. Daughter of the American Revolution. People don't want that. They just don't want it, Vivek. You're not going to be able to get around it. You see, if you look like Kamala and you could pass for something else, it would be cool. But he can't pass for anything else. And it's not it. Like, America can do a white person and they can do a black person, but they're not going to do something else. We're just not going to do that as a country. And people may feel uncomfortable with that, but that's very true. even people who will tell you that they're going to do it are not going to do it. They're just uncomfortable with him being foreign because he's the best one. He's a way better candidate than Nikki Haley.
I'm curious in this moment where Trump thinks that we had absolutely clean water and absolutely clean air. He said that we had it.
Compared to who?
When did we have it? That's what I want to know.
Compared to whom do we not have it?
Well, first he is saying we.
I'm
And
asking, like,
so I want to know.
So
I
there's
want
like
to
the
know
Swiss
when.
Alps, us,
Do you think it was from his
India.
term? Did you think
Our
it was
water
in
is clean and we
1800?
drink it every day. Now again, I was deputy treasurer at
Spending
Chesapeake,
a
and
lot of
Chesapeake's
time
water is not clean.
on the actual climate question. They're focusing back on cops.
Nobody answered the climate question because climate change isn't real. They're done with that. They tried and it's not going to happen.
Climate change very much is real.
It's not going to. Well, yeah, Just Stop Oil sprayed the Stonehenge the other day, so I think it'll be solved now. I think now that they sprayed the Stonehenge down, you guys will have a fix. So no worries.
Sprayed Stonehenge down?
You didn't see Just Stop Oil spray paint Stonehenge orange?
No.
Well, they did. And so now that they've done that, climate change must be fixed. If it wasn't going to be fixed, they wouldn't have did it, right? Obviously, they went there. And then after all the people spent hours cleaning it, which didn't at all, raise fossil fuel consumption. Yeah, they spray painted Stonehenge shortly after they spray painted a plane graveyard where they thought Taylor Swift's plane was, but it wasn't. So now that they've done that, I'm sure that you'll be fine. The polar caps aren't going to melt now. They fixed it with Stonehenge.
What he's doing is destroying the said he's open to cutting Social Security. That's a weird smirk.
Look at down. He's got to read the notes and look back up. He can't stay looking down.
Destroying Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
The idea is that we, in fact, we were the only ones with consequence. We're not members of the consequence. How can we do anything if the United States can't get it under control? One of the largest polluters in the world, number one. We're making significant progress. By 2035, we will have cut pollution in half. We've made significant progress. So we continue to make progress. We set up a climate corps. There's thousands of young people who learn how to
This
It's
meme.
like a score. It's climate core.
I hope I can send this to you on Facebook. Oh my gosh.
But the idea that he claims that she is the biggest part of here and is really concerned about pollution and about climate, I've not seen any interest in that. And by the way, with regard to prescription drugs, one company agreed that they would reduce the price to $35, which I was calling for one voluntarily. I made sure every company in the world, every pharmacy,
Yes, it is.
did not have to pay. And by the
He was knocked into the sky. Okay.
It definitely isn't going in Biden's favor on Twitter.
I mean, I visually can see it. He's too slow, too slow.
Gavin Newsom spotted in the spin room of CNN Atlanta, Georgia debate. He backstage.
and pay their fair share. Right now, everybody making under $170,000 pays 6% of their income, of their paycheck, every single time they get a paycheck from the time the first one they get when they're 18 years old. The idea that they're gonna, I'm proposing that everybody, they pay, the millionaires pay 1%. So no one after, I'm not raising the cost of Social Security for anybody under $400,000 after that, and begin to make the wealthy begin to pay their fair share.
He is the wealthy.
Yeah.
Well, he's of the two people, they're both wealthy. Tapper's wealthy.
Everyone in that room is wealthy. The wealthy need to pay their fair
Well,
share.
granted, that's another thing. It's only 4 people in the room because they decided no audience. But yeah, all 4 of them
Are the establishment about the wealthy need to pay their fair share. Go ahead, Joe. That middle class Joe thing is offensive and he got to stop. This was like, did you see Chuck Schumer on Father's Day pretending to grill?
I don't watch a lot of Chuck Schumer, but that would also seem like something that Chuck would try to do.
And it's really bad. Then they had Kathy Hochul pretending to grill in an all white dress at the grill. There's no stains, no nothing. And it's like, if you're not one of us, there's nothing wrong with that. If I wish I was wealthy enough for somebody to grill but I would think if I had money, like a lot of money, one of the main things we would do is grill. We'd have nothing but meat and time to grill all the time. We'd have a butcher. I would think it would take my barbecues from here to way up there. We buying exotic animals. No, I didn't know you could be too rich to grill. Exactly, but apparently they are.
The amount of money for Conrad, another $8,000. Anybody make another $70,000 a year.
One thing I would ask him if I had a one-on-one opportunity, let's say you hype the fact that you have increased the amount of money for Pell Grants. Why would you not also want to cut more in student debt?
College can be free.
Expenditure.
It's called the financial aid program, and the amount of money it costs to pay all the employees and all the people and everyone who runs it. If you just made college free and made it grade-based, most kids could go. I live in Hampton. All 3 of my sons are receiving their college degree. They get 2 years for free while they're in high school. You got to make it into a merit program. They have to have, good grades. And now they're all in Virginia Peninsula Community College, including the 14-year-old. It's free. We should be able to get everybody at least 2 years for free and a discounted 4 years at the state school or whatever without paying for the program.
I like your free call. I don't know if I like the complete dependence on meritocracy there. Not that
What I don't like is them giving these people
I don't want to put off people who also don't have good grades but want to keep
then college is not for you. Then it's not for you. Then you got to pay for it. If you're not educated and you can't read, college
that way. We think that college isn't for a person if they want to go to get educated.
It's not for you. If you're not getting the first 12 years educated, then we can't waste money. We got to be sending our best, right? And that, again, I don't think you have to have all A's. My children don't have all A's, but they don't have any F's, right? You got to be able to grasp it, because now again they're doing it dual enrollment. Maybe you're a little older when you get out, but you will know if school is for you when you're in school. It's most of the time people who are not doing well don't want a college education. They don't like school. It's not their thing. And I'm not talking about college where you get to protest at Columbia and take Taylor Swift classes. I'm talking about like hardcore 2-4 year education in a program. Like in Hampton Roads, you get a Marine.
Mass nationwide thing of Taylor Swift classes.
They take Taylor Swift class. Yeah, it's a thing. She's got a course curriculum.
It's entirely possible for one class in one university.
But it's an approved curriculum.
It's not like history.
It's not. Yeah, we don't want to do that. I don't want the taxpayer dollar going into crazy degrees, because that won't get you a job.
In your second term, what would you do to make childcare more affordable?
He's not going to answer about childcare.
He's not going to answer about it. But again, these are the issues that they lie about. When I got a divorce.
The 19 people comment from?
Where, here?
He's like, for the third or fourth time, he's like, we got 19 people who said I didn't say it. First, say what? And second, who are the 19 people?
Who are the people? Yeah, just stop saying it. But they pay in Virginia, if you are working and you cannot afford your child care, that's one of the things you can apply for. So while I was never able to get any real help with anything else, when I first got a divorce, they did pay for my child care. They paid like 60 or 70%. And I was able to keep them in private Catholic school while I went to work. I was still able to keep really good school because I didn't have to downgrade to send them to somebody's house, because our government does pay for it. Virginia paid for it, even though I didn't qualify for anything else, and I still don't. They supplemented my child care.
I think from here, he looks like he's getting scolded.
If he looks, because he's looking down and hunching. That's what they keep showing on Twitter, is these same memes. Like you said, it's very memeable.
He just said about me because they said, he's the worst president in the history of our country.
Second time he said that tonight.
Now all of a sudden he's trying to get a little tough on the border. He came out with a nothing deal, and it reduced it a little bit. A little bit, like this much. It's insignificant. He wants open borders.
I would actually come in from the left on that, not from the right.
And I don't think we just can't let it happen. If he wins this election, our country doesn't have a chance, not even a chance, of coming out
They
of this.
debunked the Beau Biden thing because he shouldn't have said it. He needs to stop saying that.
Yeah, it is. He's the worst in history by far. We're the most admired country in the world. In the United States of America, there's nothing beyond our capacity. They're the finest military in the history of the world. The finest in the history of the world. No one thinks we're big. Screw around with it. Nobody.
Screw around with us.
So they're free.
Yeah, Biden said he's the only president of the 20th century who has no American troops dead. That's not true.
Online. 159 or 58, don't know the exact number. Presidential historians. They had meetings and they voted. He's the worst president in American history. One, two, that's the worst. They said he was the worst in all of American history. That's a fact. That's not conjecture. You can argue they're wrong, but that's what they voted.
He is sick. I don't know why. I mean, they could have just postponed it, but I guess they felt like they can't postpone it because it's going to look bad. But he does sound like he's under the weather, very much so.
Yeah, that would have gone horrible if
They said
hey,
that.
Biden has to postpone a week or something like
They're just not going to drag my husband down because I feel like Jill's doing a lot of acquiescing, but he's got so old, or you're sick, or you're this, or you're that, and I just wouldn't have it. Like, I just feel like they're doing a lot of dragging this poor man around where he doesn't need to be.
He's got that half smile going again now.
Oh, look at his crazy smile. Look at his. What did they give him on the commercial break? He looks like the Joker.
Nobody's ever created an economy like us. Nobody ever cut taxes like us. He's the only one that wants to raise
face is crazy.
4 times. He wants to raise everybody's taxes by 4 times. He wants the Trump tax cuts to expire.
Everybody's
so
tax.
everybody, including the two of you, are going to pay 4 to 5 times. Nobody ever heard of this before. All my life, I grow up and I see politicians talking about cutting taxes. When we cut taxes, as I said, we get more business. Apple and all these companies, they were bringing money back into our country. The worst president in history by far, and everybody.
4th time he said that. That is message discipline right there.
He's increased he will increase the taxes on middle class people. I said I never raised the taxes on anybody who makes money less than $400,000. I didn't. It's tariff, it's 10% tariff. Everything coming in the country, you know what the economists say? That's going to cost the average American $2,500 a year more because they're going to have to pay the difference to food and all the things that we afford. Number 2,
I just wish we could make that anti-tariff comment a little stronger.
Not raised, he somehow helped middle class. Middle class have been devastated by you. Now you want a new tax fund of $5 trillion over the next 10 years.
$5 trillion over the next 10 years. Cut my taxes. Oh man, I can't wait. You guys are going to lose in a landslide. Well, no, because last time you stopped the vote so you could have a water main break in Atlanta. So you may do that. You'll cut the
How
vote.
confident were you of the midterm? Big, huge red wave.
No, I don't know about a red wave because Republicans lose all over the country. But
No,
Republicans
that
have been
was the
winning all
last
over the
time I
country.
heard that level of confidence was.
I just feel like, you know what? But I thought he won the last election. I'm fairly sure that they're going to have to find a way. And I don't know if the Dominion voting machines is it this time. Yeah, but they're definitely going to have to stop it. They're going to have to stop it and wait 3 or
Dominion
4
voting machines that won $740 million from Fox News for defamation.
Dominion voting machines ain't going to be it this time. And nobody should want it. Nobody should want any voting machines that we don't have the open source code to. So nobody should want that on any sides ever for any reason. And I don't know whose family works there who's getting the kickback, but it's unfortunate for the country. I don't care who the administration is. Nobody should want that. But I don't think that that's going to cut it for them this time. They've lost the Jewish vote. They are way down on the black vote if you're not over the age of 50. Most Hispanic people in the country want immigration control. So I think that they're going to have to really cut. 81 million was a big number to come up with because Barack Obama didn't get that many, and I voted 2 times for him. Stood in the rain with small babies when the country was in shambles, and I just kept voting for him. So when you say Joe Biden had 81 million votes, what are you going to say this time? 105 million? There's not that many registered voters. Like we have to just.
Yeah, it doesn't grow that fast. It does grow, but it doesn't grow that fast.
President Trump, you have 67 seconds left. The question was, what are you going to do to help Americans in the throes of addiction right now who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
Kids were doing very well.
Seems like a very small question for a big topic.
It's a dumb topic. The Democrats wanted to legalize everything, and so did I. And I'm not Democrat anymore. I thought it was a good idea, but I've seen the places now where that's happened to, and apparently people don't have the kind of self-control I thought they did.
Right, but the drugs that they're doing that to is already illegal.
Yeah, I think we just got to crack down on this country. They're not going to close the border. We have to crack down on some things in this country. And I hate to think that, because I'm not really one for wanting to take away people's choice to do anything at all.
Anything?
No, not unless you're hurting someone else.
There you go.
Nothing that only affects you. If you are hurting someone else actively, obviously you don't have the right to do that. And I draw that line at everything. And that's where, again, I'm drawing it at abortion. What happens? Sometimes you're doing things to hurt other people. But
this is where I get back to my libertarian roots.
yeah, well, you said exactly. I'm very libertarian as far as your sex life and your drug life goes. But then I've seen in Oregon and in California, it's really, I mean, they're out there sitting on the streets. They got tents everywhere, even in the nicest areas. People are just living in degradation because it turns out if you tell enough people like you don't have to do anything, they won't. And that doesn't help them. They're not living as good as people who are not.
You did say crackdown, in which case I would want to think, what is the result of your crackdown? Jails to be even more full of people?
Everybody is not full. The jails in Virginia are not full of people who were homeless, and now we put them in jail. That's not true.
Homeless.
I'm just saying, like a lot of the things you crack down on, you think, oh, that's what the jails are for. That's not true. And we don't have some of the, like, you can't set a tent up outside and live here. Those people might not live in 5-bedroom houses, but then they all live in one apartment together, which is better and is safer for them than sleeping on the street. So it makes people maintain a certain level that they don't maintain other places.
There, would you want a version of a government program to provide housing for these people?
Why am I providing housing? First of all, we do.
Jail, right?
First of all, we do. They are, and we shouldn't be. And second of all, most of these people are living and receiving some kind of a check. They get a check in Virginia. In California, you get one for living outside. $600 or $800 a month if you're out there, which is enough to buy drugs and whatever they need.
I'm a fan of a basic income.
No basic income.
No, I mean, I'm a fan of it. So
yeah, I'm sure you are, but no, I know basic income.
That I would like it to happen a lot more.
Nope. Because I wouldn't get a basic income. I would have to pay one.
That sounds like Friedman's negative income tax from the 70s. But
yeah, I wouldn't get a basic income. It's going to be basic income if you make under a certain amount of money. And it always is.
That is probably how it would come out. So
right. I don't want to pay anybody. I'm already paying everyone. You either got to be old, young, or I'm almost dead for me to have to want to pay your income. People who have serious medical disabilities.
The of it if you didn't get it.
No, I know a bunch of people who say they have headaches and depression and get a disability check, and I disagree with that.
No, I meant on a premise. Would you be against the advocacy of a new version of a spending program if you were not the one who got the spending for it, i.e., a basic income? If you didn't get the income.
No, I don't think. I just don't agree with it anymore. No. Why? What is the idea behind that? Everybody doesn't deserve. There's no such thing as a universal basic income because who makes the money to pay it? Money isn't out of nowhere. There's no such thing. You have to take it from a place. So you want people to pay taxes so people can have a universal basic income.
Not necessarily people, as in all people.
You want some people, and none of those people are responsible to do anything for anyone else. No, they're not, and there aren't, and there's no moral obligation, and there's no obligation to pay somebody because of their health or their skin color or any of that. There is zero obligation. We need to pay enough money to keep the city and towns running, and of the budget that we have for that, we need to take care of people who cannot take care of themselves. And that's just it.
Sounds like you took both sides.
Yeah, everybody believes in a social safety net. This is America. We like that. We like having one for people who can't take care of themselves.
Yeah, but I think you were philosophically against the safety net briefly, and then you're...
No, a social safety net. I said if you need help, not if you just don't feel like it.
Because you were saying no obligation to create the type of thing, which gives the impression as if you're not for the thing that would be
funded for.
They need to be more stringent. We're just doing too much. I see it on a regular basis.
We're a country in the world and people learn, and everybody trusts us. All of our allies.
We don't even trust ourselves, so how could they trust us?
Thank you. Former President Trump,
Second time he said screw around with it.
at the end of your second term, what do you say to voters who have concerns about your capabilities to serve?
One, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests, I aced them, both of them, as you know, they did public. He took none, I'd like to see him take one, just one. I go through the first 5 questions, but I took 2 cognitive tests, I took physical exams every year, and you know, we knock on wood wherever we may have wood.
Wherever we may have wood.
Well, he did win 2 club championships. Let's do that. Let's do a golf tournament for presidency.
And I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel very good. I feel the same. But I was willing to take a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced them. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who's a great guy when he was White House doctor. And then I took another one, a similar one. And one of them said they'd never seen anybody ace them.
Thank you. President Biden?
You're going to see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds, or 235 pounds. Well, he said 6'4", 200.
Okay.
Anyway, just take a look at what he said. He is the way he is.
He tried to do it. Yeah. He tried to do a subtle insult and he couldn't even pull it off.
Yeah, and weight shaming isn't the way to go in America. We're a heavy folk.
He's a 6 handicap.
I was a big handicap. And I had no
serious way that I used
Let's not act like children. Don't let Trump say that to you. Oh my God.
Specific concerns that voters have about you. Will you pledge tonight that once all legal challenges have been exhausted, that you will accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins, and you will say right now that political violence in any form is unacceptable?
Any form.
The Democrats got the nerve to ask about political violence. It's wild.
Totally unacceptable. And if you would see my statements that I made on Twitter at the time, and also my statement that I made in the Rose Garden, you would say it's one of the strongest statements you've ever seen. In addition to the speech I made, in front of, I believe, the largest crowd I've ever spoken to, and I will tell you, nobody ever talks about that. They talk about a relatively small number of people that went to the Capitol, and in many cases were ushered in.
And the rest who were feds.
And Nancy Pelosi said it was her responsibility, not mine. She said that loud and clear. But the answer is, if the election is fair, free, and I want that more than anybody, and I'll tell you something.
Amen. I'd be retired someplace if he could just run the country. Put it in the shitter.
This is enjoying myself. I wouldn't be under indictment because I wouldn't have been a political opponent. Because he indicted me because I was his opponent. I wish he was a great president. I would rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. The only reason I'm here is I'm so bad as a president, and I'm going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again. We're a failing nation right now. We're a seriously failing nation. And we're
Could be considered a good soundbite.
His policies are so bad. His military policies are insane. They're insane. These are wars that will never end with him. He will drive us into World War III, and we're closer to World War III than anybody can imagine. We are very, very close to World War III, and he's driving us
Oh,
there.
dang, I turned off the debate.
You turned it off?
I didn't mean to do what I did. It's on the phone. I got it
It's
back.
from my feed.
They don't respect him. They don't fear him. They have nothing going with this.
Got it on 30 volume.
He's going to drive us into World War III.
World War III. Let you follow and win and let Putin say do what you want, NATO. Just do what you want. You get to Article 5. Attack on one is attack on all. Required response. The idea. I can't think of a single major in the world who would have trade place with the job I've done, what they've done. Take us through a powerful nation. We have wonderful things because of the people, not me, because of the American people who take command and they step up when we need it. And right now, we're needed. We're needed to protect the world because we all have with the state. And again, we want to have a war. Just let Putin go ahead and take Kyiv, make sure they move on, see what happens in Poland, Hungary, and other places along that border.
President Trump, as I come back to you for a follow-up, the question was, will you accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins?
Just to finish what he said, if I might, Russia, we could allow it from Bush, we could allow land from Obama and Biden. We took no land, nothing from Trump, nothing. He knew not to do it. Not to play games with him. He knew that. I got along with him very well, but he knew not to play games. He took nothing from me. But now he's going to take the whole thing from this land right here.
Taking it personal. I want to say that they're taking it from me.
And he's going to take Ukraine. And you asked me a question before, would you do this? He's got us in such a bad position right now with Ukraine and Russia. Because Ukraine's not winning that war. He said, I will never start it until such time. They're running out of people, they're running out of soldiers, they've lost so many people. It's so sad. They've lost so many people, and they've lost those gorgeous cities with the golden domes that are 1,000 years old, all because of him and stupid decisions. Russia was never attacked.
President Trump, the question was, will you accept the results of the election, regardless of who wins? Yes or no?
The question was, yeah.
That's what we wanted to hear. That's all his base wanted to hear. It doesn't matter, but she's not going to vote for him, and neither are you. He answered the question the way I needed to hear it. Like it would be crazy to answer it for you.
But much like I was against him and you were already for him,
I would like, and it's not going to
make you like him more.
It's not going to happen. But what I want is for the Republicans to go out and firebomb the goddamn country like the Democrats. I want to just flip a bunch of cars over and stuff. I'd like for them to really lose it. They're not going to. I wish they would. We have all the guns, but they're not.
You wish they, being the Republicans, would do what?
Absolutely. Would lose it like the Democrats do every time they don't like something. Every time that there's a police injustice or something they don't like, and you guys burn down the country and flip a bunch of shit and take over buildings. I would like for us to be able to do that too. But somehow they just remain civilized and they refuse to ever have any political violence.
I'm not entirely sure I would be allowed.
I would love to have some political violence. We're not going to have any.
No, I don't support that statement.
We're not going to have any, so I wouldn't worry about it, but I totally support it. We're just not going to have any. We're not even going to have any court violence. Like the Democrats are good for putting somebody out of Congress or filing an injunction. We're not even going to have that. We can't even have any court violence. We're not going to prosecute our political opponents or do any of that. There's never any fun at all.
Any fun?
None. None. They should have put Jamal Bowman just lost his election, but when he pulled the fire alarm, they should have had him removed. All Republicans ever do is write during the vote. All Republicans ever do is write a strongly worded letter, and I'm tired of writing strongly worded letters that nobody is reading. Biden will hit you with hundreds of counts of shit you didn't even do, and may not have did. Like we need to just do a little more of that. Where's a little more of the fire with fire? We don't have
with fighting. Unpack once and get closer to iconic landmarks.
Did they all walk off the stage?
I think they always do because they go get their makeup done and stuff. Remember, Ron DeSantis was getting his face done and fixing his high heels and whatnot. They got stuff to do on the commercials. Usually you don't do it right there at the podium where they can meme you, but Ron didn't know that. So apparently neither did his team.
The draft of the agency. Let's go on, let's have a conversation. You went here, unlike anywhere else. All people within New York County treating it equally on that.
Try and turn that interesting.
I spent my career working in tech, and today I run my own software company. I'm excited about the future of American innovation, especially with artificial intelligence, where the U.S. currently leads the world. American researchers are making exciting new discoveries, and U.S. companies are investing billions in AI solutions to help strengthen small businesses. But foreign competitors like China
vilifying half the country is not working for you.
Leaders need to protect America's competitive edge.
competitive edge.
Serious heart condition affecting as many as 1 in 200 people. Like me.
That's me. It can impact how you feel and what you can do.
I still felt tired on my beta block. So I talked to my cardiologist.
Now, according to the guy, they say that the debate goes till about 10:40. So if that's true, we only got about 7 minutes left. And then they're going to have the post-debate show.
In the furniture business, things move fast. ZipRecruiter helps us hire qualified candidates who can keep up with project
Two
managers.
sources familiar with the situation say President Biden has a cold. We were aware of that.
He was qualified in every way. ZipRecruiter finds the best candidates.
Yeah, the very first sentence
They
ends.
help us build our dream team and did it fast. Let's do that, please.
Qualified Biden's leaders can post on ZipRecruiter, get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Biden.
Norfolk Beer Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. We are available 24/7 all year to service or replace your system with an American Standard Air. Norfolk Air remains your one-stop shop for all homeowners and businesses in the Tidewater.
I could use a little air right now, dude.
Yeah, people keep saying if Newsom runs out and saves Biden, he's not. We've gotten part of the way through it. It's almost over, isn't it?
Yeah, we got about 5 minutes left.
Yeah, he's through it. And I got to tell, I would have lost the bet. He's through it. I thought they were gonna use today to pretend he had a heart attack or something. Well, yeah, my bar was way low. He stood there the entire time and he's not fainted. I'm totally impressed.
Together, we can take on whatever's next. Limited availability until it's there. Norfolk Air Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. We are available 24/7 all year to service or replace your system with an American Standard Air. Norfolk Air remains your one-stop shop for all homeowners and businesses in the Tidewater South Side. Call us today.
2 Norfolk Air commercials. Nice. Now they're back on stage with the last rush.
Candidates to deliver their closing statement as predetermined by a coin toss. We're going to begin with you, President Biden. You have 2 minutes.
There is no audience.
The debacle that was left by President Trump in his last term. We find ourselves in a situation where, number one, we have to make sure that we have a fair tax system. I ask anyone out there in the audience,
Fairer tax
watching this debate.
That's just going to make people look up the fair tax.
Fact is, as I said, nobody is making $400,000 and a single penny increase in the taxes. And we'll run. And if I'm reelected, that'll be the case again. But this guy has increased your taxes because of the deficit. Number one, he's increased inflation because of the debacle.
They'll also have rather high deficits.
And he finds
Doing the thing.
he now wants to tax you more.
I like this slow zoom.
What I did was, for example, he wants to get rid of the ability of Medicare, or the ability for us to be able to negotiate drug pricing with the big pharma company. Well, guess what?
$2,000 a month for every senior. My mother-in-law is the most well-to-do person in our family, and since she's retired, she's been poor. Because she can't afford to do or go nowhere. $2,000 for somebody who is not working is not affordable prescription.
By $160 billion because the government going to pay the exorbitant prices. I'm going to make that available to every senior. All along what's happening now, and everybody in America wants to get rid of that. We have, I want to make sure we have child care. We're going to significantly increase the credit people have for child care. And make sure we do something about
Borderline sounds like a ramble.
and all the big COVID health problems.
Better ramble than I thought it would be.
We're going to continue to fight to bring down inflation and give people a break.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, you now have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Like so many politicians, this man is just a complainer. He said we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax. But he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do, all he does is make our country unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to vote. Our military doesn't respect him. We look like fools in Afghanistan. We didn't stop Israel. It's such a horrible thing that would have never happened. It should have never happened. Iran was broke. Anybody that did business with Iran, including China, they couldn't do business with the United States. They all passed. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas, for Hezbollah,
Together, nobody whatsoever. Again, Ukraine should have never happened. He talked about all the stuff that he didn't do it. For 3.5 years, we're living in hell. We have the Palestinians.
Were you eating good ice cream too?
All over the place.
This is a Thai basil ground turkey dish. Quite tasty.
Italian basil ground turkey.
Thai.
Oh, Thai.
What we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest tax cut in history. The largest
I never really liked the phrase rebuilt the military, as if the fact that we're spending on, 850 billion a year is a constant rebuilding of it.
Even from the medical standpoint, right to try, where we can try space-age materials.
A lot of what people are commenting on anyway is the mannerisms and whatever. Like they knew Joe Biden was going to look old today. Aren't they doing another one? And they're going to do another debate. I don't think they should.
There'll be one more debate. It'll be closer to September, I
Who
believe.
needs to bow out? This wasn't it. If this was your publicity, I don't think that Biden picked up any voters, right? That's why you do this. Because we already knew who was doing what when we came in here. You're hoping for the independents, and this didn't do anything for Biden. And it didn't lose anything for Trump. So if they were hoping to do that, they just need to cancel the second one.
I fully admit I'm not a Trump fan, but I think he picks up points.
I mean, just if we're not of anyone fan, I just think like you were a publicist or someone just watching this from the outside who has no dog in the fight. This didn't do anything for Biden, so don't have another one. This isn't helping.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to do better in a few weeks than he's doing, right? It's going to get worse every day until he dies.
Well, that looks like the end of the debate. So, any final thoughts?
No, I think they need to cancel number 2. I don't know. Like you said, I don't know what we were expecting. He made it the whole time, so that's a win, I guess. But that's the problem. I didn't think he was going to make it, and neither did a lot of other people. So the fact that we're going, oh, well, he made it, look how sad that is for the country.
Yeah, it's an overall sad.
So it's an overall sad situation. If those are the choices, you guys say that Trump is Hitler, and I'm saying that Biden has dementia, so we don't have any very good choices for everyone then. But I don't think this did anything for Biden. It didn't help.
Yeah, 2 people who watch this didn't watch on TV and are watching this now and are leaving that thinking, wow, we need better. You have a few months to look at some other candidates because going into November, maybe we need some help.
You all should have primaried. I don't know why they were allowed to do this without a primary, because if he had primaried, he wouldn't be the president-elect. What is going on here is he's shoving them down their own voters' throats. Shoving someone down their own voters' throats seems crazy. The Libertarians just shoved a candidate down their voters' throats as well, and it is unfortunate.
Well, they have a nice convention, so they had a rather lengthy process to come up with Chase Oliver, and who I hope to get back on the show. But
you're still not in the highest office in the land, and if they could come up with Chase Oliver, certainly there's a position for somewhere for you. Okay, it's got to be somewhere. I am still banking on that.
In any case, well, I want to thank you for coming on and live streaming this. I won't say great debate, but it was definitely a debate of the president.
So we'll do it again if they have another.
Exactly. Well, in any case, thank you for joining, and have a great night.
Thank you.